Hello guys, and Putin went nuts with his intercontinental ballistic missile Oreshnik, which can be translated into English as a hazelnut bush. He planned to strike Ukrainian resilience, to frighten our allies, but in reality he hit Russian economy the strongest. It reacted, and right now you cannot buy $1 for less than 102 Russian rubles. And as some good people with the perfect sense of humor say in the comments below my videos, Russian ruble is a true ruble right now. So let's discuss in this video, was Oreshnik a new intercontinental ballistic missile or the old Soviet crap, and how it actually influenced the morale inside Ukraine and the economy of Russia, which is on the edge of collapse. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see Russia defeated, subscribe. We will discuss that on the channel sometime soon. And it may actually start with the Russian economy, because it is extremely exhausted with the unpredictable 1,000-day-long special military operation that was supposed to be a 3-day blitzkrieg. Also because of the sanctions that get stronger with each absurd move from the Kremlin, and, well, because Russia in general was a poor country when it started this absurdity that will definitely lead to its collapse. Putin was super frightened and devastated in his address to the population of Russia yesterday. And even those who support him have to say that he looked very unhappy and very different from the dictator that addressed the Russian population at the start of the full-scale invasion. So, of course, everything, starting from this Oreshnik intercontinental ballistic missile and finishing with his speech, was intended to frighten Ukrainians and our allies. But it seems like it did not work out. When you keep frightening people, when you keep rewriting, when you keep inventing various ways, at a certain moment of time, people stop being afraid. It happened to Ukrainians long ago, and I feel it is happening to our friends in different corners of the world. By the way, let me know in the comments below, do you take all of Putin's threats seriously? It's interesting, it's important, maybe I'm biased. I'm definitely biased. I'm surviving in this war for kind of long period of time, and I intend to see the collapse of the Kremlin together with the collapse of the Kremlin Goblin. So let's start with a bit of information about that intercontinental ballistic missile that Putin names as Oreshnik. A totally crazy name. Unfortunately, you cannot bring all the absurdity of the term when translating, but it's just like hazelnut bush. It may be that it is not a new missile, but just a new name for an old one, because Ukrainian experts have identified it as a well-known rubesh. Some say kedr. Actually, I have come across a number of various terms to describe this missile, and we don't know. It may be that Putin simply rebranded the existing one to make more people interested. And this is one of the reasons why lots of military experts in Europe and North America cannot identify it too. What is also important, it's not the first ballistic missile capable of carrying nuclear heads that Putin uses during this war. For example, Iskander missiles can do that. So he simply needed all of this attention to once again threaten the world, and actually to remind the world that if you want to live safe and sound on this planet, please finish Putin's regime. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and to discuss the collapse of this evil regime. What makes me even more confident that it was Putin's propaganda, his showing off, his traditional bullying tactics, is how the spokesperson for the Russian Ministry of Internal external affairs, Zakharova continued to speak over the phone with her microphone on, and we could clearly hear the male voice telling her, please do not comment on this intercontinental ballistic missile. We know, even if we don't like her, lots of Ukrainian experts highlight this. She worked in this diplomacy for a very long period of time, and she sure knows that if you don't want others to hear what is on the phone, you turn off the microphone or you go back or whatever. So it was intended for us to hear. So first of all, not the first missile that is capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Second, Zakharova wanted us to hear like no comments because Putin wants to use it as an argument, as a way to escalate and frighten the world that you cannot defeat Russia because I will destroy everything. When in reality, it's just the contrary. If we do not defeat Russia, it will keep destroying everything. And he was definitely angry and dissatisfied in that video. So, this intercontinental ballistic missile was not very precise. It's actually typical for long range missiles, because if you actually use a nuclear weapon, you don't need to be very accurate, because no matter where it targets, the disaster is awful. But here in Dnipro, Pivden-Mash location, it did not cause like that tremendous destruction. And Putin wants to use it as a form of fear, constant, like warning Ukrainians, warning embassies, warning other cities, saying like, we might target you. He actually says that he will announce every launch of a new missile. Why don't they announce all the other things? So it is just to show off and maybe to influence the newly elected President Trump, like, look what's happening. We are on the edge of the Third World War. But in reality, we are on the edge of the total collapse of Russian economy. I was happy to learn that right now you have to pay 102 rubles to get $1. I've told you that when I was at school, like at the very start of my school, when I was a really small kid, $1 was a super big present for birthday. And it's just like that in Russia, and maybe even for the people of my age, not just for the kids. And it's insane. Like, my country is at war and you don't need to spend that much. Like, hryvnia is more than 2, like almost 3 times stronger than ruble. And ruble is actually a ruble. And I'm sure that maybe in the morning when you watch this video, it will be even higher, which is good. And another proof that Russia targets its own economy with its own intercontinental ballistic missiles. Actually, according to the Radio Free Europe, officially, Russia has already spent $20 billion on various weapons of war, like 10,000 missiles, 13,000 drones to kill and destroy Ukraine, when in reality there is so much job to do inside this depressive Russian Federation. Honestly, people literally do not have normal toilets. I've shared yesterday on Instagram, do follow me there, the link is in the description of this video, the location of this missile launcher from which actually this Oreshnik was targeted on Ukraine. And it is super depressive, with toilets on the streets, with literally no asphalt on the roads. And that is what Russia, real Russia is. And they desperately need these billions of dollars, but to build roads, to change old apartments, but like to give people toilets so they don't need to loot them from Ukraine. But priorities for the dying dictator are different. Okay, they have also serious problems with their banking systems, also because of the targeted missile. The United States reacted really quickly on this escalation, and they sanctioned the remaining Russian banks like Gazprom Bank. And now they may have serious problems with Union Pay systems. Like, they are getting isolated just as North Korea. And our task is not just to keep them, I don't know, simply isolated. We need to destroy these evil regimes that keep ruining everything around them. They cannot construct, they cannot create anything inside their own countries, and they bring this outside. So actually, devastation, destruction, depression are the main Russian export products, and we don't need that. And that is why it is super important, first of all, not to be afraid. Second, to realize that Putin is a classical bully and all bullies are covered, and then to defeat them and to celebrate that. So anything we can say for sure after this intercontinental Oreshnik traveling, that first of all, Putin used it to show off, to frighten people, simply to escalate. He definitely will not use anything, especially waiting for the new US president and a chance to negotiate. And second, that with this strike, Putin hit his own economy much harder than it did the territory of Dnipro. And he will be defeated, same as millions of those who support him. Remember, it's not Putin targeting the missiles, it's not Putin driving the tanks, and it's not Putin giving comments and cheering for more evil things done. That's why we have to remain united. Join me on X, Threads, Discord, Blue Sky. I'm active on that Blue Sky. All the links that you need are in the description of this video. Also, remember to check our new Christmas collection with calendars in the merch shop. And thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, but most importantly, thank you for being true friends. I read all of your comments. I am so grateful when you worry about me. I'm back home to Lutsk, but I love it in Kyiv, and I'm never worried there. I'm always more worried when I'm outside the country when I'm inside. I know those of you who have real life,